and welcome back to Poetic Philosophy number 15. What this show is about today is mastery. That is the magic word for today, mastery, and going to explain all the different aspects of mastery, creation. Some of the poems that you're going to hear in this will be A Soul's Journey. We create. The Great Cycle. Inspiration of Creation. I wrote this for all you poets, writers, artists out there. And of course, also going to be talking about the word and much, much more. So stay tuned for this awesome episode of Mastery. Little drops of water, little drops of sand, make the mighty ocean and the pleasant land. Author unknown. When the one becomes the many, we have power, we have footing, especially when we all go in one direction. A drop of water or a grain of sand is a metaphor of one idea, one focus. When we focus on one thing, the energy we put is great. This is the principle of mastery. Musicians who play beautiful songs, writers who write powerful stories, designers who create awesome things, build on one idea from many viewpoints, can adapt to anything in a world of many. Life is about adaptation. We enter life with a gift. We plant that gift in reality. When we see that gift, from the many ways it can manifest, we become its master, and we wield our creative magic. The seed planted in the ground can grow anywhere when it sees whole. When it can adapt, it's used anywhere. The seed is our gift, our interest. As we grow in knowledge, we become masters in life's magic. If you can imagine something, you can create it. Imagination is the mental picture an artist creates by seeing what's really there. When you imagine something, you see what's there. By focus of every detail, you can recreate that mental picture. The more you learn to create, you will create more complexity. You will grow in your craft and achieve mastery in your craft. I quoted something at the end of the last episode about Yu-Gi-Oh! Hopefully you looked up what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, But, what I said then was life is like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck. Each card is a tool that can be used in creative ways to come up with unique solutions. So that is mastery. We learn, we find out what our gift is. And we just continue to learn more about it. And we try and learn about it from different aspects. And when we learn about our gift from different aspects, we can see it from different aspects. And we come up with a new understanding of that particular gift. Or like what I just quoted Yu-Gi-Oh! In that game. You come up with new solutions, new creative solutions. Well, life is like that. Life presents us with different problems. And we have to try and work our way through that while doing our work, and hopefully our work is related to our gift in some way. And that's what we do. We look at it from creative ways. Here is a short little quote, Soul's Journey, and it's pretty much because the soul also is on a journey of mastery. And we are part of that mastery, learning a specific aspect of whatever soul wants to learn at the time, which is the higher part of us. So here is a soul's journey. A soul's journey. The knowledge beyond reason, the leaf that falls to earth, the seed that sprouts, the branches that praise the sun, the cycle of all cycles, the peace begins anew. We create. Creation is the main lesson for this school we call Earth. For those in the Northeast America, we see this truth every year as spring becomes summer, which then becomes autumn, to finally winter. As the seasons change, it creates a new experience for all those who live in the Northeast, and the way we live our lives also change. Everyone on this earth is learning to create. This is the main purpose for humans on earth. Just look to see what is in your life, because it was created by somebody. We create how our lives move day to day, month to month, and year to year. We even create while we sleep in our dreams. How do we create? We first start with inspiration, which is a stimulation from within ourselves to create something new, to solve a problem, or to create more beauty. This stimulation comes from how we view subconsciously our environment. We are aware of so much more than we consciously realize. Have you ever focused on a problem while trying to come up with a solution? Then one day you get a moment of clarity and the solution presents itself to you? That is your subconscious, which is like the background processes running on your computer. In the past, there were those who thought that the creation process was something mystical. The subconscious part of the creation process is not a mystical force, because it is our higher awareness that sees the bigger picture. Those who are the most creative can see this bigger picture. Creativity is also a part of how we learn, because it is through trial and error that we create new solutions. By putting our actions into changing our world, we create our life experiences and what we use in our environment. Our actions can be seen as either good or bad, and will come back to us in the cycle we call karma. Also, as we learn to see the world differently, the cycle of creation continues, because new ideas inspire or stimulate us to see differently, and we start planning on the new creation. The Great Cycle. Where there is change, there is inspiration. Inspiration is the new trying to be born. Destruction and creation are the great cycle. Within the great cycle, we learn. We are inspired to create the images of the mind. The world is without life. The light descends. On the flat land, the seed destroys to create a new form. No longer will the land be flat. Life never ends. It continues beyond death. I love that little poem, The Great Cycle. It pretty much says a lot just within a few short words. And that's part of mastery. It's like I've learned how to pick the right words, say the right things. I mean, I still struggle with that, but the next stage of my mastery is probably here on podcasting without music. Oh, I miss the PodSafe Music Network. But when people use the word creativity, they always think about writers, artists, singers, songwriters, actors, actresses, but they don't think about the policeman or the fireman, or the the mother trying to take care of a family, or the father trying to take care of a family, or the person that's working in a store or a restaurant. Because in those in those jobs, we have to use creativity, and again, that is part of mastery of our particular life, whether it be like mastery of working with other people, mastery of working with other people to create a final product on time, or to keep people safe, or to learn how to put a family together, mastery in psychology, and the particular struggles that we all come up with. All those little things we have to use creativity with, not just writers, artists, and we get inspired by those. Look at the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is creating all the time. He's creating new businesses, and he or she deals with mastery from a different level, because there are different little pieces that have to come together to make that particular business a success. And the entrepreneur once started out, putting together a small business idea. He or she takes one idea and kind of like, keeps adding to it, keeps seeing it from different angles. So, yeah, we can get inspired by anything in life, and from a certain higher perspective, this life that we enter, we chose different things to happen because of different things that we need to learn. Okay, we still have creative gifts, and we still have different ways of seeing, but that is still part of mastery. Mastery to help us understand creation from different aspects, and there are many, many different aspects to creation. All you have to do is just look at the world we live in. From nature to the technological. Some pretty powerful lessons, and take a look what's going on in social media now. And hopefully cancel culture is something that will die, because it's just not good, and it might have sounded good at one point from a certain perspective, but we are actually seeing that it's really not that good. So, like the mask, cancel culture will one day end. That is my hope. Let me see what is next on. Oh, yes. This is a poem I wrote many years ago. Actually, I wrote it when I was doing podcasting last time, and that was where I was combining poetry and music from the Podsafe Music Network. I definitely do miss that. I wish somebody would come up with something similar, because that was really a good idea. But anyways, one of the things that, and I don't think the website's out there anymore, because there was a website that talked about the moon, and the people of that website had different quotes to meditate upon when that particular full moon was happening. I forget what full moon. I mentioned it at the end of the poem, of this poem coming up. But I forget which full moon it was. But this was a poem that came out of it. And I do that. I try different things. I experiment. And even though I wasn't doing the full moon the way they were doing full moon, because I actually had a meditation and everything was just like bing, bing, bing. And I just go in there, seat of my pants, and just kind of meditate and see what I come up with, and start writing in my journal and see what I came up with. And sometimes I come up with a full poem written out. Sometimes the piece looks like a poem, but there has to be a lot of work that has to be done to it. Again, that's how we learn about mastery. We try different things, and we experiment, and we learn our art from different ways. And we are all trying to master this thing that we call life. And so, I think maybe I should do another poem about death. I have written a lot of poems about death, so I'm probably going to do another podcast about death. So look for that one at some point. I don't know when that's going to come up. But here is this poem that I wrote the last time I was doing podcasting. It's called Inspiration of Creation, and it's for all you creative people out there. Hope you enjoy it. Inspiration of Creation. I look out over the mountains. The sun rises in the eastern sky. Birds sing song of creation. I walk along the mud on my earth walk. I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. The three persons of creation, the form, the spirit, the product, and the ecstasy of life's joy, creating my own experience. I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. For the good of the average, I come upon a new age. Meditating, praying, creating are the tools on this new stage. I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. Children of the new dawn, in the time of Aquarius, I come to know who I am in this ecstasy of life's joy. I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. In the vast expanse of a timeless place, in the shadow of the sun, I move as the wheels move. I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. In the wheels of the millennium, creation keeps my stories. The record is in all forms. In my states of being, I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. Traveling on my earth walk, where water, sand, and spirit meet, the potter's wheel of creation, where the life force breathes into it. I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. I sit here on my couch under the Virgo full moon, tapping into the ancient wisdom, the universal spirit that's soul. I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. Through my mind's eye I see all the poets, writers, and artists of all type, whose inspiration is creation. I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. We belong to the light. We belong to the Word. We are the light unto this world, and the Word spoken. Our magic, our creation is in the Word. It's that we're created by, and through that we create. In our creation here on this earth, we are both the mother of our creation and the product of our creation, the child of our creation. We create by the thoughts we think, by the words we say. So if we're very negative, and we're going to create a lot of these negative experiences. And that is part of mastery of life. there is a lot of negativity to life. There's a lot of beauty to life too, and we are reminded about that when we go out into nature, whether it be up in the mountains or down to the beach or the lake. And who knows, maybe one day the moon or Mars. Um, yeah, I probably won't be doing that this life. Unless I survive 300 years, which is possible. Just think of if you live 300 years. The things that you could do, the things that you could create, the things that you would learn, the things that you could master. Well, from a certain perspective, there we go again. We we do that. Unfortunately, we don't really remember a lot of our times um, between lives. Yes, I do believe we have multiple lives. Well, we have multiple bodies. We only have one life, but we have multiple bodies. And we come down here many times to learn. But each time we forget what we learn, and we kind of set up, well, this is one theory anyways, we kind of set up our life to help us remember what we want to remember. And we set up the things that we know we would be inspired by. And so we set up times where we can be connected to those times to be inspired by, whether it be a musician, singer, songwriter, a movie, nature. I do being a New Hampshire poet, Yankee poet. I do get a lot of inspiration from Robert Frost, especially a lot of his later works where he was trying to shorten his poems. Again, he was working on mastery even then. And also John Denver. I mean, just the mastery of putting a song together. And there's a lot of singer-songwriters that I've listened to. I just listened to one lady, her YouTube channel. It's because of her YouTube channel, I downloaded Spotify just so I can listen to more of her music on Spotify. Her name's Melinda. Really beautiful artist. But anyways, that is also why I like video. And I like the videos on YouTube. I not necessarily like Google, how it tries to take tries to insert itself in every part of our life, but I do love the idea of YouTube, where people can and the other video streaming sites, and there are many other video streaming sites. Another one that I'm on is BitChute, and I just started with those. And just because of the YouTube algorithm. Even though I do like to listen to other YouTubers, and I learn from different things, different Yu-Gi-Oh players, because I'm interested in that. Different, people who live in their vehicles and vans, having different experiences like that. Different spiritualists. It's kind of like the new TV. So it is as it is. So, anyways, that is the show for today. I hope I hope you learned something from these words that I speak. I hope that they inspire you to your own greatness, because I do believe we are all great out there. We just have to get over the fear and just start trying things, finding our gifts, and looking at our gifts from different perspectives, and mastering that, and making money from your gift. That's awesome. That is awesome. So that is it. Live your life with purpose, passion, and drive. Stay creative in the magic of life. And just have fun out there. Just have fun out there. In the particular body that you're in right now. Because life is short. Life is too short to just play around with stupid crap. So anyways, stay creative in the magic of life. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.